What up, you guys? This is Lockdown Reactions with your host DJ, and welcome to another banging video. On this channel, I do reaction to all prison-related content, all cop-related content, and all gang-related content. And welcome to my channel. If you're new to this channel, please remember to go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that post notification bell so you get notified every single time I drop a new banging video. No boy, let's get our popcorn, and let's get to this reaction. So look, bro, today we're gonna be reacting to 60 Days In Season 6, Episode 18. Episode 18 is the second part to the reunion, so we're gonna be reacting to that. I promise you guys I would do that reaction. So here we go, we're about to go ahead and start. And without any more chit chat, let's go ahead and get to this reaction. Here we go.
So what do you make of what Ashley's saying about you?
I think that she's full of because she was all in my face and trying to help. And oh my God, how's your foot? And let me get you some oranges and let me get that. So I don't like fakeness. If you don't screw with me, don't screw with me. But don't talk about me behind my back because I don't do fake bitches. I don't.
I did get you oranges.
You did a lot of them. You did. You got me more than that. You got me the Kool-Aid packs. You got me more than that.
And I am disappointed in my.
I just want to say, so if she did help her out, you know what I'm saying, because she had this terrible food condition where she couldn't eat anything unless she would end up dying or having some type of a reaction. I mean, to me, I don't see what she's complaining about, like, because nobody else was doing that kind of stuff for her in jail. Like, she did it for her, and she did it when she didn't really have to. She could have just starved because she was so picky about each meal because she didn't want to end up seizing up and dying or whatever because she can't eat certain foods. So, I mean, if we being 100, like, you know, like, I mean, how can you say that that's fake? How can you say that she wasn't willing to help her out? She obviously was. And she was the only one that did that.
Myself for talking about you behind your back. And I do apologize for that. I can't imagine how that feels. I was very disappointed in the pee thing. That was a big deal. And that was my turning point towards you because at that point, I felt that you were no longer on board with the program. And I didn't know how quick that was. I thought this was some sort of a plan that you had concocted.
No, and let me say this. Angel had my back a lot of times. I got food. I got everything from her. I got hygiene products.
All right, so I just want to go ahead and say that Angel, I do remember her saying, that other women were giving her food at the same time. So I was wrong about that previous statement. She was the only one giving her food, but she still gave her food, you know what I'm saying? But other women were helping her throughout the whole, like, eating thing. They would give her food, they would trade and bargain and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, and if Angel did help her out a lot, I could see why she would expect, you know, something like peeing in a little tube for her as, like, a small little return or whatever. However, I do understand at the same time where the cop lady is coming from because, you know, but what would you do in that situation? You got to ask yourself.
And so it was a very uncomfortable position, but like I told them, as soon as it happened, I let everybody know.
I would have peed for somebody like you. I've peed for people in my real life.
Dang, dudes.
Sheriff, why'd you decide to do phase 2?
Well, we learned a lot from you guys in phase 1. And look, if it saves one life, if it makes our jail more efficient and more safer for the correctional officers and the inmates, and if going through a process and exposings and through transparency makes this jail a safer place.
So we're going to have a season 7 coming out, y'all. Like, I mean, I'm ready to see that. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to see that. I'm wondering what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm wondering if it's going to be any different, if it's going to get worse, better. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready for that entertainment. Y'all comment down below if y'all ready for that. I'm ready for that.
Okay? It's not going to be easy.
You obviously don't know me. But when I set out to do something, I'm going to do it at all costs.
Yeah, right. Whoa! Did y'all see that? This dude was banging his head till blood was coming out. Like, till the blaster was falling down. This guy is crazy.
The person in charge
He is
of safety
crazy.
and security of the unit is part of the problem. This place is terrible.
Let's bring out Mark.
This dude quit because his
Mark,
back was hurting.
Thank you.
But he lied. He lied. his back wasn't hurting because as soon as he got out the jail system, he was running to the van.
Let me just start off by asking you why you wanted to do this, why you wanted to be part of this special ops program.
I thought with my experience in law enforcement, my years putting people in jail, I thought it'd be a good idea to understand people are putting, what was I putting them into?
I'm gonna take whatever I want to take from you when I want to take it. And I say this, I don't say this jokingly. I do see someone picking you out because you're sitting back with your hands crossed and you looking like you're an easy target.
I mean, he ain't really become too much of a target. He just couldn't take it, man. Like, I mean, it was too much going on. Like, physically for him, his body apparently couldn't handle the still bedding, and he needed more of a lavish lifestyle behind bars in order to make it into 60 days in. This dude, maybe 60 seconds in. That's what we should call him, 60 seconds
I'd be
in.
able to finish. I figured there'd be some adjustments, but my body's just not handling it. It really sucks.
I mean, but what do you think about the people that end up going to jail, going to prison, and they cannot just do this and then get walked out? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. You gotta tough that kind of stuff out, and I don't believe him anyways because he was complaining about his back hurting, but he's running to the van as soon as they release him from the prison program. I don't understand that. Y'all come in with y'all think, but I think that Mark is full of it.
I was right?
Apparently.
Okay. Honestly, me personally, I feel like you use a back injury or an injury just so as a way out. I had a back injury. I was in pain. Donovan he even had something going on. So and I'm sure the ladies, they had something. So
see, man, I ain't the only one. I'm not the only one.
How much pain you were in, but to me, it's me personally, I ain't buying it.
Yeah,
I can
I ain't
assure
buying
you,
it.
you have no idea what my pain is.
Right.
You know, but for you to do that at that training was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, that pissed me off.
Right. I don't mean to cut you off, but I don't think he was much judging as more sizing you up or just kind of feeling
Please
you
help
out.
me out here.
Judging, you're right, may get some people hurt in law enforcement, but sizing somebody up in law enforcement is the number one thing I do, especially in the job.
You got to do that.
And I would assume that it does in the corrections. They need to size up the thing.
But that's not what that was.
Yeah.
That was to make a
I don't
moment
think he was
there.
more judging
You know?
Bro, he was trying to help you out though, Mark, because if he sees something about you and he's he obviously an expert when it comes to going in as a participant. He walk in as a pod boss. You know what I'm saying? He knows exactly what's going on in the minds of inmates and how they gonna view you and look at you. He trying to help you out. You know what I'm saying? Bro, he trying to help you out, and you got your feelings about it. But I mean, the whole injury with the back thing, I'm in the same boat with Tony. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I think it was just a cop out.
More than the size you have to see how he's going to react to issues or problems. And I think that's what Tony was saying.
Did you tap out?
I tapped out.
Okay, I was right. Next question, please.
It was the first night trying to go to sleep where people are screaming or going crazy. There's nonstop all night long, the echo, but the light being on all night.
Bro, you was just talking about laying on a steel cot and your back hurting. Now you talking about how it was too noisy. Bruh, come on, man. Do you really think that America is going to view you and honestly accept and swallow the whole meal that you delivering? Because there's inconsistencies, Mark. There's inconsistencies. You said that the steel bunk was too much for your body. Now you're talking about the environment was too stressful because they were loud at night. Come on, man. I don't believe you. And America don't believe you. What's wrong with you?
And it was after the second night, it just wasn't stopping. It was just a constant pain, constant ringing in my head. So I knew I had to get out of there.
But you do understand everything that you're saying is like, that's just normal jail activities. You saying you can't sleep. I'm like, was we in the same pod? I'm just trying to figure out what did you experience different than Donovan and I.
So I already knew today was going to be a bad day, waking up and seeing that Miss Richardson was the seal. She was yelling and screaming out of her cell at Miss Richardson. The cell doors pop and it's on. And they went in Caswell's cell and they actually dumped the juice on her bed, soaking all of her stuff in juice, and then threw bleach at her.
Really? I'm glad that they fired her. What type of CEO does that? Y'all hear that? She threw juice all over her bed mattress and then threw bleach in her face. Bruh, they need to get this girl a Etowah County jumpsuit just like the rest of you.
You get a handcuff key into the jail.
Anything else on your sir?
So I just want to say that this guy right here looks like he would be like a WWE wrestler. Every time I see him, I'm always thinking that he's gonna like RKO somebody, or I mean, he could be Triple H's little cousin from Dairytown or something like that. You know what I'm saying? He also looks like he could be from Duck Dynasty, but if they were on steroids. I like this dude. He's a good participant. I really enjoyed watching how he moved and operated in the program. And yeah, man, I got mad respect for him, but he's entertaining to watch as well. I like him.
But he wanted me thoroughly and never picked it up.
He just said that he snuck some handcuff keys inside the jail system in prison with him going through the security. Now, what's wrong with that picture? How do you get through the security? They sitting here warning you. You walk through a little metal detector. You know what I'm saying? I mean, picture it. Imagine the dangers of smuggling in a key to the handcuffs, and then inmates being able to just take their cuffs off and, yo, let's get down. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I done seen prisoners pop the doors open they cell because they got the key to they room. What? What are y'all doing, Etowah County? Let's go.
When I take a shower, so I slide into my shoe. They had found the key in my shoe.
Oh. Okay, well, they found the key. I rest my... Okay.
I'm trying to remember if your accent is picking up me from somewhere else, though. She should have sounded like she found out. She's a fire. So she thinks that I am.
That's one thing you do not want other inmates to start talking about. If you get locked up, if you go to prison, you do not want them to be talking amongst themselves, saying that you're a cop, that you're a plant man, that you're 60 days in, because that's what I'm saying. 60 days in is all about participants and volunteers they volunteer to go to prison, you know what I'm saying, to study the jail program, to give information to the authorities about how all of this dirt and drugs getting smuggled in, weapons getting smuggled in, exactly how they operate, giving them all that information so that they can better and make the jail system safer. But it often turns into them morally trying to survive. And, you know, but that's one thing you do not want inmates talking about and looking at you as. No.
Just in case I got respect. Yeah, I'm back here. I don't think that's why when she was talking, I said, I don't give a I don't care. I'm a convict. This lady lied to me. She's 60 days in. I'm fucking stuff. They talking about jumping on her and everything, shaving her, cutting her throat, all kind of.
See y'all.
You know, they forgive me. Like, just completely forgive me.
I believe the whole thing. place I can find you on money kids like that.
Ooh.
Vanessa, you had the rare opportunity to be in the same cell as Angel.
Right.
Tell me about that.
Well, it was an experience. I was very nervous about it. I think at that point I was a mental wreck. But overall, I tried to make the best of it. Like, I didn't want to ask her too many questions or, make it look like I was trying to investigate her on the show. And it was times where conversations was like happening right in front of me at the same table. Like,
Yeah, so see, y'all, I understand where she was coming from. Vanessa was in a situation where she was in a cell with multiple inmates, and they talking about all their dirt, all their activity, their life outside the jail system. And so if she gives this information to the authorities and they get hemmed up for it, they gonna want revenge. You just heard them saying they gonna look her whole name up on Facebook. They get out, if they find where she gonna have to go into like a witness protection or something, you know what I'm saying? And that's what she was worried about. She did not want them looking for her because she heard something that she shouldn't have heard or that she didn't want to hear. And so that's basically the situation, man. And I completely understand. If I'm being
we're trying to
honest, I
figure out who it
understand.
is.
I
I'm
get it.
like, oh, okay. And I'm like, oh my God, like, what if they find out, And I think I was just in my own head. And every time I thought about tapping out, I was like, no, I'm not leaving Heather. So
Tony went in determined to be pod boss, but did he go too far? Let's watch.
I wouldn't say that he necessarily went too far. He did exactly what needed to be done to be accepted in the pod and to be looked at as not being a plant. Tony was a very good participant. I don't agree with everything that he was doing, but I mean, the reality isn't always pretty, y'all. We gotta remember that. We gotta remember that the reality isn't always, sunshine and rainbows. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, in order to get realistic, you gotta get dirty. You gotta get a little real. And so, like, Tony took it. He took it pretty far. I mean, he had a do boy, and a do boy is basically where you have somebody that washes your drawers for you. You know what I'm saying? That follows you around like a little puppy and does anything you ask them to do. They'll do it. You know what I'm saying? So he had one of those. He ran a store. You know what I'm saying? He was basically like one of those like a loan shark. You know what I'm saying? In prison. He had the drugs, he had the shanks, he had all that, you know what I'm saying? And, I mean, he may have taken it a little too far, but I mean, it was good. It was good, and everybody accepted him in the pod up until, he kind of started looking like he was 60 days in participating just because he went to the hole and came back 4 hours later when everybody else goes to the hole and they don't come back till a couple weeks. You know what I'm saying? So. And Jermichael started throwing him under the bus.
Runs on Tuesday. Today is time to collect. When the inmate owes another inmate for store, they get beat up pretty bad. Oh, man. This guy named Anthony, I gave him some grits. First, the man said he was hungry, so I fed him. And he said he was going to give me 3 soups in return for the 3 packs of grits I gave him. But come time for him to pay me back, nothing. Give me all your clothes. I want all your clothes. I want everything. I want your socks. I want your shoes. I want your pants. Now, at that point, it was like no mercy.
See what I'm saying? Tony is a G, bro. That's something that you see in like New York, Jersey or whatever. You know what I'm saying? If you seen Paid in Full, you know what I'm talking about. That's like the ultimate embarrassing like I'm gonna humiliate you, bro. I'm gonna make you butterball Nikki. You getting no respect. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking everything. No champagne, no Chinese food, no nothing. You get nothing, Only a G could do that though. Nobody else other than the G could do that. If you ain't a power boss, you ain't somebody in authority, you can't make somebody take their clothes off for you. They gonna laugh at you. They gonna be ready to fight you. This dude that's doing it obviously knows that or feels like Tony ain't the one to play with. So this is what I'm talking about. He was a very good participant. Blankets too. I need that.
With your drawers, you know what I mean? I should have took them, to be honest. At this point, I'm thinking I should have took them. I came here under the impression I'm an inmate. The COs think I'm an inmate. The inmates think I'm an inmate. So I'm gonna do what an inmate does.
See? That's what I'm saying. Look at her face.
Tony?
She's like, I can't believe he did that.
Sounds like the inmates.
No, the jail is the one, the store.
No, but see, you're
the
getting
store.
lost in it, though.
I'm lost in it?
Yes,
You want to come to
because,
my facility, sir?
I mean, don't get defensive. We're just having
I'm not the
we're just having a
defensive one.
conversation.
The store runs that place because there's no limits. Everyone gets anything they want. So those are allowed to happen
So the inmates are okay to break the rules.
because the staff aren't stopping it.
So it's all the inmates, correct?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. What I'm saying is the store needs more limits. You put a limit on what people can order, then he can't come spend his $500 and run. That's what I'm saying.
That was the
sir.
problem with Angel. She had over
That's my
$1,000
point.
in her book.
Now we talking about Chad. All right, so to y'all that didn't see this episode from season 6 of 60 Days In, Chad is Tony's do boy. He was Tony's do boy. Anything that he told him to do, Chad would do. Clean up the cell room, you know what I'm saying? Sweep the floor with your hands. Oh, he doing it. He doing whatever he doing. And basically, they do anything that the person asks him to do in return for protection. You know what I'm saying? That's what a do boy is. Basically, like, they're a B word. Yeah, and excuse my French, you know, but that's basically like, you know what? That's another way of that. Clean my drawers, yes sir.
Word puzzle book, and he was sent to the hole. Let's watch.
Chad is Tony's bitch.
Damn, Tony, you got him trained, don't you?
Anything Tony tells
Dang, Tony, you got him trained, don't you?
Chad to do, Chad does.
Crossword puzzle book on the CO's desk. I'm like, I want that. I know I'm not gonna get it.
Just gonna go ahead and finish up my up here together.
I'm like, dang, man, I know he gone. He gone.
Yeah, you know, and Chad, a lot of people, they had mixed feelings about this. Like, they felt bad for Chad. They felt like, you know, Tony is all Tony's fault that he went to lockdown. And, you know, and I agree, it's 100% Tony's fault. But then at the same time, he is a grown man. He can make his own decision. But you have to consider the kind of man that he is, if he is a man at all. Everything that Tony told him to do, he did. You know what I'm saying? So Tony, knowing that he was afraid being locked up, that he would do anything he asked him to do for the protection, him knowing that, it falls on Tony a lot just because, you know, it's really Tony's fault. However, he could have said no, but what would have happened if he would have said no? And that's what pushes this dude, Chad, to do anything that Tony would ask him to do. So, I mean, it's like, you know, you say, oh, he can make his own decision, he a grown man. But then at the same time, you want to consider why he wouldn't make that decision. He's not the type of individual to make that decision because he's afraid what could happen from that. And so you got to consider it. It's the give and take, y'all. But, I mean, they both took fault with this.
He in the hole, yeah, because of something that I asked him to do. But I mean, this jail, he a grown man, he make his own decisions.
Why are you shaking your head?
No, it almost feels like you were adding to that by hinting, not saying go do that, but yeah, you know, I want that, and you know.
At the same time, you gotta remember though that Tony went in full throttle. Like he went in mentally transforming himself into a real inmate. This is the way that inmates really gonna act. You know what I'm saying? The way they really gonna live. And if it's no mercy, you know what I'm saying? Like he gonna turn that on. He gonna turn on the switch because that's what needs to happen in order for him to be looked at and considered a real inmate versus a participant. So I mean, you know
how people feel about you. That's why I was like, because I didn't think that I would see you do that. So I was like, whoa.
So let me explain. So first phase, that wasn't the case. Second phase, any CEO that could be compromised, I tried to bribe, I offered money, I offered cash, anything. That's
but at the expense of another inmate who you know is struggling with things.
He actually helped that kid. That kid was getting beat up. He was getting taken advantage of. They was taking his trays daily. And I'm like,
I also want to stop real quick, and I want to say, somebody, one of you guys commented in the comments below that I was wrong, that Champagne was not a participant and that he was a real inmate, and I told you that you were very wrong. I mean, he's right here if you look at him in the green. That's Champagne. He was a participant on 60 Days In. He was definitely not an inmate for real. And when I said that I didn't understand why they didn't release him too with everybody else, is because everybody else got released but him, and you know he was still in there. I don't know what happened with that situation, but one of y'all, like I said, told me or tried to tell me that he was a real inmate, not a participant, and you're definitely wrong because he is a participant and he's right here in front of you in the green, and Tony is in the black.
like beat up. It's not like just a punch in the face. They was like torturing that kid. So Tony did use him as kind of a pawn to help him, but he also never missed a meal. He had plenty of extra on store day. Tony was taking care of the kid.
You know, just with the negative feedback collectively that all of us was giving the sheriff and Chief Pete at some point, for a sheriff to be able and a chief to be able to take negative criticism like that about their facility, that says a lot.
Yeah, I do want to add and piggyback off of Tony real quick. They really did come up a little bit, but there's still so much more work to be done. And y'all seen, for instance, how Mark was getting his feelings when Tony was transparent with him about what he thought would happen if he went into the program. Like, they didn't get butthurt when Tony and everybody, all the other participants, told them what was happening, and basically one of them gave him an F. Like, even though they trying like so hard to change everything in the jail program so that certain things don't get smuggled in, drugs, weapons, and all that kind of stuff, they did do a good job of getting rid of the thousands of weapons that were going on and getting into the program. And, you know, it dramatically dropped after, you know, the participants went in and all that kind of stuff. But there's still a lot that needs to be done and dealt with in the jail facility. And it's not going to happen overnight, you know what I'm saying? Like, because inmates are always going to adapt. They always going to find a way to adapt. That's a part of human nature. And, you know, so, like, it's just going to take time. But they do take criticism very well. And, you know, yeah.
So that's why I feel confident when I say that, you know, I feel like they're going to do an amazing job. Time to come.
I agree. Show of hands, would any of you do a phase 3? Raise your hand if you would go in again.
Man,
Now
Go in again.
I'll go in again after this air.
I'm sure everybody will be looking forward to that. Alright, you guys. So that was my reaction to 60 Days In, Season 6, Episode 18, Part 2 of the reunion. This is Lockdown Reaction with your host DJ. And if you enjoyed this reaction to 60 Days In, Season 6, Part 2 of the reunion, please go ahead and remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on that post notification bell so you get notified every single time I drop a new banging video. And without any more chitter chatter, I will see y'all in the next reaction episode. Lockdown Game. Peace.
It's lit. Just take a look at the drip.